Hello, our little sunshines.
Hey!
Welcome back to the Sunshine Book Club, the books that bring us together. This is episode 2 of the series. For this video, discussing Binge today.
Woo! I think the book is great. It went from serious to funny to really not dramatic in an overly dramatic way, but dramatic as in the things and the events that happened. It let me see a different side of Tyler, which was really interesting because you see this, I'm successful because, I made a few videos about some stuff. And so now here I am. But this let you into what he goes through personally that he doesn't really ever talk about. So I really liked that part.
I would definitely agree. I feel like Binge gave us a roller coaster of emotions that Tyler has gone through. Some funny, some more serious, but definitely it kept us wanting more, I think. Some of the stuff I didn't expect Tyler to kind of put into a book, and I think that's why it kind of threw me for a loop for some of the things that I read in particular, but overall it was still good.
Yeah. I want to start off first because, it's always either good or bad, and I like to get the bad over with, so whatever. So I can talk about how amazing the book was. I think the entire book was really great. But, dude, that chapter titled Hopeless Romantic threw me off. It could be because I don't like feet. I don't know what it was. But when he described the guy going at his feet, I was like, it was all I could do to read it. It literally made me have goosebumps. It made me cringe. It made me want to throw up. I just don't like feet. So that was a chapter that I did not enjoy.
A chapter that I didn't like, and I mean, it was short, but it was the title chaptered A Love Lesson. And probably because it was so deep, and he was talking about physical abuse from a past boyfriend. I don't know what it was, but I guess I didn't expect Tyler to go ahead and put something like that in a book. It felt like way too much for me. And probably that was the only thing that I didn't like about the book was how, I don't know, it was way too deep for me. And I get that books like this want to come off as deep. That was just way too deep for me, if that made any sense.
No, it does. It was like you were reading this really funny thing, and then you flip the page and it was like, I was once in an abusive relationship. Ta-da! And you're like, what? Wait a minute. That went from 0 to 60 way too fast. I think my favorite chapter is Pleasure and Pain. And not because, oh my God, I know what you're all thinking. Oh my God, because it's deals with One Direction. No. Okay, I get that that's what the thing was about, but the reason I enjoyed that chapter so much was because of the lesson that Tyler, in a sense, learned from it. I liked the fact that it was more of he learned a lesson, and what I took from it was the lesson was that you can like something, but don't become so obsessed with it that it ruins your life. And I feel like he became so intrigued and so obsessed with it that he allowed it to overtake, and at times it almost ruined him. And then he had to take a step back from it. And he can still like the thing, and he can still enjoy the thing, but he doesn't have to be so out there with his enjoyment of it. And I think that's how sometimes in life, that's the way we are. We can really, really, really like something, but we can become so obsessed with it, it consumes our life. And you have to take a step back and separate your life from having an obsession with something, if that made any sense.
To the most, and it was probably why it was my favorite chapter, the one that about the whole Adam situation and all that. Like I get him. Like, but I could definitely really like how things came about and all that. So that was my favorite chapter.
Well, I've got two. My favorite one, I'm making sure it comes from the chapter you were just talking about, the one that got away. And it's a little long, but I'm going to read it because
if it's
good.
The one I have, you steal my...
I'm probably going to. It's on page 152. Now I think of breaking up as moving. Imagine if you have your own house full of your own boxes. A person you meet has his own house full of his own boxes. When you have a relationship with that person, you shack up in a third house into which you each put any number of boxes oh my God, I can't talk. In which you each put any number of boxes. You shouldn't move them all in at once or else you'll seem too eager. And don't dawdle too much either or you'll seem skittish about commitment. You kind of aim to match each other's pace so that the power of balance feels fair and equal. Happy marriage, at least ideally, would be the situation in which both parties enthusiastically choose to keep all of their boxes in their shared house. Controversially, when someone starts to doubt the relationship, he might move a box or two back into his actual house, just in case. While he's weighing his options, he may transport a few more boxes into the safety of his own home. When he's ready to take back his final few boxes, he breaks up with you. If you're too infatuated to see it coming, there you are with all of your boxes in the shared house and none in the security of your own home. Like the most amazing analogy of a relationship I've ever seen.
Well, I guess since Brooke stole mine.
Oh, I'm good at that.
I literally had that one. I'm going to go ahead and go to page 137. It's on 137, and it's sometimes life can feel like Scrabble. You know you got words in there somewhere, but no matter how many times you rearrange the letters, you can't seem to make sense of the jumble. And that kind of really resonated with me because no matter how many times you could kind of say something to somebody, it's always going to turn out differently than you would assumed. So
the other one that really stuck out to me is on page 44, and it comes from the Binge chapter, and it says, my overwhelmingly kind and extremely talented friend Hannah Hart has a piece of art in her office depicting a young girl walking through a forest side by side with a wolf. Kind of looks like Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf. When Hannah first showed it to me, she talked about how she loved it so much because it depicted the idea of recognizing your inner demons instead of running with them, learning to live with them. It's a reminder to not run away from your wolf anymore and to learn to live with it. And that just really spoke to me because we all go through things and we want to run away from our problems and we don't want to embrace them. But instead, you should embrace them and learn the lesson from overcoming them and to never go back to where you were with them again.
It's in the chapter Anything for $1, and I have it highlighted, and it says, my parents raised me to understand the value of hard work and saving money. And I like to think that because of that, I've gotten to where I am today. I don't think a lot of people understand the value of $1. I mean, heck, I can buy YouTuber books for days, but in the end, it's like I have 2 jobs.
Yep.
And I try to save up money, and I know that I have bills to pay, student loans to pay, and all that. Whereas I don't think other people, I think they take money for granted. Overall rating of the book.
I gave it a 9 out of 10. It could be because of the toe chapter. It may not just be that, but I feel like not only that, but the chapter that you mentioned, and I feel like he was very personal, but I almost feel like he was overly personal. And that's because he's Tyler, and that's probably what he meant to do. But for me, I don't know if I would have gotten so personal at times.
I agree. I actually gave it a 8.5. I was contemplating between the 8.5 and 9, only because of how deep he got, like the chapter I talked about, but like everything is and does something like that. I think because it's his personality, he got way too deep to the point where I don't think many of his followers would probably understand or appreciate that as much as others would. But it was overall a good book. So, I mean, I still recommend to read it.
Oh, yeah.
Get a deeper understanding of Tyler, but it was kind of a little bit too personal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, guys, there you have it. There is our episode 2. We are super excited to get these underway. We have been enjoying these conversations. If you would like to join in the book conversation, you could tweet both of us on Twitter. I'm at Carleen1991.
I am the shortest one. Tell us all your thoughts about the book.
And you can connect with both of us on our channel Twitter at Miles_of_Sun. We would love to hear your thoughts about not only Binge, but our previous book, A Work in Progress, and to give the video a ray. Our videos shine brighter when you do. And don't forget to hit the red subscribe button somewhere down here. And in the comments below, let us know what you thought of Binge, your favorite parts and quotes, and we would love to get the conversation going. So, until the next book club, we will talk to you later.